Hello there everybody, it is Tegan here again today, and for this video I am going to be doing a book haul. This haul is going to be all of the books that I picked up at the Lifeline Bookfest, which is a book fest that happens every year in Australia. It happens a few different places in Australia, but there's one on the Gold Coast and there's one in Brisbane that I went to last year, and then I also went to this year, and the Brisbane one just recently happened, and I thought I would share with you guys the books that I picked up. Lifeline is a charity that does a whole bunch of different stuff. They donate clothes and money, and they offer suicide prevention help and just a bunch of different things like that. And Lifeline Bookfest is basically a way to raise money for that because they are a non-profit company. And how the Bookfest is set out is there is a $2.50 section, there's a $1 section, and then there's a section of higher quality books which can range in price. I actually didn't pick up any books from the high quality section. I just went to the $2.50 and $1 section. I got 16 books. I got 10 books in the $2.50 section and 6 books in the $1 section. I spent $31 overall, which, I mean, is pretty good in my opinion, and all the money goes to charity, so I don't mind doing it. And I did share with you guys the books that I got last year, but I just did it in a book haul. I think it was like my June book haul of last year. So yeah, but this one is just the books that I picked up at the book fest. And yeah, I'm just gonna get straight into it because there are a lot of books here and they're not in any particular order. It's not in like, I'm gonna do the $2.50 ones first and then the $1 section. They're just all mixed up and I've got them in a pile in front of me and I'm just going to share them with you. So first up is In the Middle of the Night by Robert Cormier, and this one just seems so interesting. It's, from what I gathered, it's about a girl who died and her sister is trying to avenge her death. However, it's many years later and she's now put the blame onto the killer's son rather than on the killer. And yeah, that concept just seemed really interesting to me. And it's a really short book. It's less than 200 pages long, so I know I'll fly through this. Next is K for Killer by Sue Grafton. And obviously this one's another thriller sort of murder book. And yeah, it just caught my attention, and it's about a girl who dies and somebody's trying to figure out what happened to her. Next is Last to Die by James Grippando, and I mean, honestly, I saw this and I literally had to have it because, like, I don't know, this cover just looked so interesting to me. So again, it's about a girl who has died and there's a former contract killer in the town, and everybody thinks that it's the contract killer that murdered her, but it wasn't him, and so it's about them figuring out who did it. Next is What Was Lost by Catherine O'Flynn, and honestly, I know this one's sort of a mystery book, but I just saw that it was about a girl who works at a record store and I got really interested and wanted to pick it up. Next is Night School by Bentley Little, and I saw that this one was blurbed by Stephen King, and he's meant to be the absolute god of horror books, so I had to pick it up. And yeah, this one is a horror book based in a school, and a bunch of weird paranormal stuff starts happening at the school, and I haven't read a horror book in a really long time, so I decided to pick this one up, and maybe I will save it for October and read it in the spooky times of October and Halloween. Next is one that I'm actually really excited about, and that is The Sky So Heavy by Claire Zorn. I had never heard of this book, likewise for the majority of books I picked up. I had never heard of it, but it is a dystopian book, and dystopian is one of my favorite genres to read. Yeah, it's about a guy who's going through normal life. One day he's at school with all of his friends just trying to figure life out, and the next day all the power's out, everything's falling apart and his parents are missing and him and his brother have to try and survive. And yeah, I love like post-apocalyptic and dystopian books, so I'm really excited to get into this one. Next up is probably my favorite book that I picked up on the day, and that is Will Grayson by John Green and David Levithan. I have actually already read this book. I read it as soon as I got home from the book fest, and this was one of the only John Green books that I don't own. Well, that's not true. I don't own a couple of them, but I did not own this one, and this one was the last book that I picked up on the day. I was just doing one final walkthrough and trying to see if there was anything that I had missed, and I saw this one peeking out under a few other books, and I got so excited when I saw it, and I just had to get it because it's John Green and I absolutely adore John Green. And I've never read any of David Levithan's books, but I've heard he's absolutely incredible as well. And yeah, this one is about two boys who are named Will Grayson, and they live apart. They don't know who each other are, and they both have their own stories, and their stories end up interlocking and they meet each other. And yeah, it was really good and I did enjoy it. I'm thinking about possibly doing a full book review on this book because there are a few things that I want to talk about, but yeah, I'm really glad that I was able to find this book there. Next is Tell Me No Secrets by Julie Corbin, and I saw this tagline at the top and it says you can bury the past but it never dies, and I just got so intrigued and I had to buy it. And this one is about a girl named Grace who lives in Scotland, but she has a secret. When she was 9 years old, a girl named Rose died, and Grace was there when it happened. And years later, she gets a call from her childhood best friend saying that she wants to come out with the secret of what happened to Rose. And yeah, it just sounded actually so intriguing, and I'm really excited to hopefully get into this one soon. Next is The Other Side of Dawn by John Marsden, and I actually really don't know what this one is about at all because I haven't really looked into it at all. I'm just gonna read you what it says on the back of this book because, oh my god, it sounds so interesting. I have said interesting so many times in this video and I'm so sorry. I obviously just can't think of any other adjectives that I can use. But yeah, on the back of this book it says, daylight couldn't be far away, and if they hadn't found me by then, it wouldn't take long once the sun came up. The drop of blood would be a dead giveaway. Dead in every sense of the word. Like, does that not just make you want to pick this up and start reading it right away? This next book is one that I am really looking forward to reading. Obviously I'm looking forward to reading all of these, but this one, it just sounds so good, and that is The Timer Game by Susan Arnott Smith. And it's about a detective who gets called into work for a normal day of work, and her 5-year-old daughter is kidnapped, and she's thrown into this world where she has to figure out riddles that are timed, and she only has 24 hours if she wants to see her daughter again. And it, like, just, this is the first thing I saw, but she's got 24 hours. Welcome to the timer game. And like, do you really want to play? Oh my god, I love like books and movies and just any stories to do with times and games and just that sort of thing, and I am so excited to get into this book. This next one is Masterminds by Gordon Corman, and the description actually reminded me kind of Divergent by Veronica Roth, which is one of my favorite trilogies, and not in every sense of the word at all, but just in one small aspect of the fact that they live inside this community that everybody thinks is perfect, and they find out that it's not as perfect as they once thought, and there's actually a world outside of the wall. And yeah, this one is about a boy named Eli who lives in what is known as the most perfect town in the world, but one day he bikes to the outer edges of this town and he sees that there's actually stuff beyond it, and he gets his friends to go and explore it with him. And I keep saying this, but I'm really excited to get into this. And this one's one that's written from a younger perspective, whereas a lot of the other ones I bought are written, they're adult books, they're written from adult perspectives, so I am excited to read a bit of a younger book. This next one isn't a full-on novel. It's actually a bunch of short horror stories, and that is Deadly Dreams by John Michael Howson. And it's been a really long time since I've just sat down and read horror stories. I used to read, they were called like Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark or something like that. There was a few books of that and I loved those. And obviously those are made for kids and this one's more of an adult one. But yeah, I'm really excited to read this, and maybe once again I'll save this one for Halloween because it is 10 horror stories. But yeah, I'm excited to have this in my possession. We're nearing the end. There's only 4 books left. So this one is one that I have heard a lot about, but I've never actually picked up for myself, and that is The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo by Stieg Larsson. And yeah, they had a bunch of copies of this book there. I tried to find the one that was the least damaged. I honestly am not really sure what this one is about. I know it was made into a movie, and I know it's a fairly older book, but I think it's told in a few different perspectives. And yeah, I honestly really don't know what this is about. I've just heard a lot about it and I wanted to pick it up and see what the hype that was going around a while ago was all about. Next up is one of the only young adult books that I actually picked up at the book fest, because there aren't many young adult books there, but this was one of the ones that I picked up, and that is Fallen by Lauren Kate. This is the first book in a series, and it's about an angel, I believe. This book was going around BookTube a while ago, and I never picked it up, and I never got into it. And I'm pretty sure is it about an angel? I think it is. I honestly am not 100% sure, but the back of it sounds so interesting, and I'm just gonna read it to you because it just pulled me in immediately. So it says, some angels are destined to fall. Instant, intense, weirdly familiar. The moment Luce looks at Daniel, she knows she has never felt like this before, except she can't shake the feeling that she has. And with him, a boy she doesn't remember ever setting eyes on. Will our attempt to find out why enlighten her or destroy her? Oh my god, that sounds so good, and I am honestly so excited to get into this. And I know that it's a series or a trilogy, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm excited to get into it and give it a go. Second to last is Chartthrob by Ben Elton, and if you guys know me at all or watch my channel or have seen any of my other videos, you would know that I love music along with loving books. And I saw this and I was like, oh my god, a book about music, I have to get it. And it's about a singing pop competition, and it's a guy who wins every year, but he might not be winning this year. And it says here that it's a comic satire book with a savagely hilarious deconstruction of the world of modern television talent shows. And yeah, that just sounded really interesting because I also do really like watching all of the talent shows like American Idol and X Factor and America's Got Talent and that sort of stuff. So yeah, I'm excited to read this and see what it's all about. And last but not least is a book that doesn't have an actual cover because the dust jacket is missing on the book. But that is, hold on, let me find the author of the book. That is The Looking Glass Wars by Frank Bedore. And okay, first off, can we just talk about how beautiful this actual book is? Like, this isn't the dust jacket, this is just like the actual book, because the book was missing the dust jacket when I found it. But like, I'm sorry, did I say it was okay for a book to be that beautiful? All that I know about this book is that it is a Alice in Wonderland retelling, so I'm excited to read it and get into it. Alright, so that is the end of this long book haul with a lot of books, and I'm going to try and pick these all up and show them to you, and there's a lot of them, so we shall see how I go. Oh my god. There we go. There are all 16 books that I picked up at the book fest, and this is a very large pile and I'm very scared that I'm about to drop them all, so I'm going to put them down. Oh, and they all just fell. That was a lot of books, and I'm so happy to have them all in my possession. My bookshelves however, are not very happy because I am out of space on my bookshelves and I don't have any room in my room to put in another bookshelf because my room's not very big. So I don't have any room in my room to put in another bookshelf and I'm out of room on my shelves, like completely out of room. So they are currently stacking themselves up in front of other books. So that's fun. But yeah, I'm very happy with all of them. I'd have to say that the ones that I am most excited about having would probably be The Sky So Heavy by Claire Zorn, Will Grayson by John Green and David Levithan, Masterminds by Corden Corman, and probably The Timer Game by Susan Arnott Smith, because they all sound so interesting and I'm so excited to get into all of them. And yeah, that's gonna be about it for this video today. If you enjoyed it, you can give it a big thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. Let me know down in the comments what your favorite book that you picked up most recently was. I would absolutely love to know, and you can hit that subscribe button down below if you want to be told when I post new videos. I make videos on all sorts of different things, so yeah, hit subscribe if you want to see more from me. And that's going to be about it for this video today. I'm Tegan, this is Bookwormia, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!